Hello, everyone. Welcome to Gambling and Rambling. We are in week 12 of the NFL season. Today, I'm joined by Alex Kellison and Nick D'Angelo. We will be going through the picks of the week, going through each game, and then also DFS in this one podcast. So stay tuned. It's gonna be a little bit longer one, but we'll get through it. Give you some winners. Hopefully, you can go through the DFS slate with us as well and pick out again some winners as well. Last week we did pretty well. Well, I did pretty well, I should say.
Had a couple lucky calls there, Corey.
Yeah, no, when you fade a game that's as highly anticipated as the Chiefs Cowboys game and you stay off that, you can win some money. This week, I'm not entirely sure what that game will be. Probably the Rams and the Packers is probably one of the highly most anticipated game of the week. But with that being said, we will start off with recapping Thursday night. Hopefully everyone had a great Thanksgiving.
Extra turkey this year. It's pretty good.
Turkey's overrated. We faded turkey in this household this week. Bad. Turkey's just overweighted. Just one of those things that it's just not the same as it used to be when you're growing up. So
you got to get it deep fried. You got to deep fry one of these years.
Deep fried turkey.
I'm just afraid that we're going to set the house on fire doing that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that happening in the Mello household.
Yeah.
Well, we had some good records cook up, I must say, over Thanksgiving. I think half of us went 2-1, and the other half 1-2. So not all that bad. I think we all probably missed the Bears except for PB. He took the Lions just because he's trying to be different, I think. But what do you know? Matt Nagy fails us once again.
If the Bears didn't play
to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, if the Bears didn't play chicken shit football at the end of that game and knee it out with on the 5-yard line 3 times, that would have hit. But a win's a win. Wasn't pretty, but all that matters is that one win in the win column.
Yeah, and the Bears aren't totally out of the playoff run at this point in time.
In the hunt. In the hunt.
That's all you need at this time in late November, early December. So with that being said, let's jump into the to Sunday games, the slate. Start off with the early game. We're going to be talking about Steelers and Bengals. Steelers are opening up at -3 on the road in Cincy. Very surprising, actually, considering Steelers haven't looked that great. They came on pretty late in that game against the Chargers last week. They looked better, but I mean they were
hung with them for sure.
Well, they were down a lot, and I think it kind of played into the Steelers' hands. The Chargers were up a lot.
Couple turnovers really flipped the game on its head there. I think it kind of let the Steelers back in. But Tomlin's a good coach. He capitalizes on mistakes, so you can never count out the Steelers at the end of the game like that. So
you definitely.
But
so
it seems like Big Ben kind of figured it out too.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't know if he figured it out or if the Chargers were just playing the prevent defense. It's week by week now with them. So I'll be interested to see how this game goes. Division game. We got, it's opened at 3-3. It's now down to -4.5 to the Bengals. So Nick, what do you like in?
I like the Steelers side on this. I mean, the Bengals kind of came out of their bye week last week a little flat. I don't know. They didn't look that great. They weren't clicking like they were before that bye. And, like we just talked about, the Steelers are always going to keep it close. So especially if 4 points here, I think it could be a matter of a field goal, just it being a division game. So I'm leaning on the Steelers side this week.
All right.
Yeah. I agree with you there. I think, these two teams see each other twice a year. Obviously, they know what both sides are about. Interdivision games usually stay pretty close, and I think both of these teams are actually, fairly similar talent-wise. I think the Bengals in the next, let's say, 3 and 5 years are going to be much better than the Steelers. But I think at this moment in time, it's fairly equal. So I'll take the points here as well. I'll go Steelers 4.5.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same side of you as you guys. The Steelers are getting a little bit healthier. I'm pretty sure Watt is playing this week for the Steelers. He's back in. Both coming off. Well, I guess the Bengals won last week against the Raiders. Chargers coming off a hard fought game for against the Chargers. Both teams need to keep winning to playoff race or to win that division. I just think 4.5 is a little bit too many points.
Too much.
Yeah, it's just for an interdivision game. I think it's just a little bit too many points. The Bengals, their offensive line is their weakest point of their team. Steelers have one of the best D lines in the league, so I'm gonna be taking Steelers plus 4.5 here as well.
Yeah, that D line. Cam Hayward's 32 years old, and he's like ranked the number 1 D lineman for like more than half the weeks this year. So, I mean, yeah, like you're saying, TJ Watt. Yeah, him and Water back.
Yeah,
so I'm looking for that defense to make a stand.
And I also lean the under in this game, under 40. Right now it says it's 45. I lean under that just for the way that both teams play. Interdivision game, high over unders are just, it's not high over under, but it's mid tier. I just like the under in this game as well.
And even though we don't got PB joining us, he did send us his pick, so I'll just sprinkle those in here. PB took Bengals minus 3.5, and his rationale there was Steelers suck and injured.
Great analysis from
So now we have our fade PB pick. So
yeah,
we're betting Steelers today.
Yeah,
there it is.
All right, let's move on
the
to
next one.
Game. We got Panthers going to Miami. The spread opened up at minus 4.5 for the Dolphins. It's now minus 1.5 for the Panthers.
Does it say that defense is back?
No,
They've had a couple good games in a row. I don't know.
no.
They're looking good.
No.
I think Cam Newton's like in a prime time spot to just make a bunch of mistakes. I'm going with the Dolphins here.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I like McCaffrey. I think he's obviously the best player in the game. And their, Panthers defense is pretty good too. Stephon Gilmore's been a nice addition there. He's fitting in pretty quickly. But I don't know. I just like the momentum of the Dolphins. I think they're still playing for something. Panthers, I don't know. Cam being back might not have been the best thing ever.
Well, the Dolphins have to win this game. Both teams have to win this game to be in the playoff.
They're both in it. But
so, with that being said, I'll take the better defense. With the Panthers, I think Cam Newton really wanted to win last week. Obviously, they fell a little short. But I think the Panthers have a better offense than the Dolphins. I trust Cam Newton as much as it pains me to say, more than Tua. I don't think Tua is the guy there in Miami. I think he's just kind of a placeholder at this point in time. He'll win the games, but he's not impressive when they win. So I'm going to be on the Panthers minus 1.5.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Corey. I think the Panthers are better on both sides of the ball. Like, their defense is clearly better than Miami's defense. And on offense, even, toss up, Cam Newton and Tua, both not the most ideal options at quarterback, but you've got Christian McCaffrey, you've got DJ Moore. Robbie Anderson hasn't been playing great this year in terms of like fantasy production and all that, but just in terms of absolute talent wise, I think Carolina's better on both sides of the ball. And I think that once they get a lead here, they're just going to run it with CMC and Cam the rest of the way. And I think that they definitely cover what's basically a pick 'em at 1.5. So I'll take the Panthers and lay the points.
Yeah.
PB here is on the Dolphins. says that they're still motivated for a playoff spot. They lose this game and they are done. The line's inflated with Cam playing, and he thinks that the Dolphins should be favored.
You know what? I think PB's picks are going to be very evident of the Saints needing help, especially after last night. So we will probably see if there's an AFC team playing an NFC playoff team or in the hunt. PB's probably on that.
He's going AFC all day.
Yeah. So, all right, moving on. We got Eagles going to the G-Men. Line opened at -3. It's now up to -3.5 for the Eagles. Alex, what are you thinking here?
This is a tough one. This is the type of game where you've got the Eagles coming in off of two or three, at least 2 wins in a row, 2 good wins, putting up 30 points, I think, in 2 of the last 3 games. And the Giants looking horrible, Jason Garrett getting fired. So Daniel Jones and that offense is going to have to run with a new play caller. Everything about this game makes me want to take the Eagles. And that's the reason I think I'm going to go with the Giants here. I think it's probably, fade me season, at least fade my brain season. So, in another divisional matchup, I'll take over a field goal points wise. So give me the Giants +3.5.
Yeah, Alex, I think you should have gone with your gut on this one. The most important factor that you're leaving out is the new play caller that you had mentioned is Freddie Kitchens.
I actually did not know that. I did not know
that. Changes a lot for me as a Browns fan. I just left a moment of silence, a little mic drop right there, for good reason. RIP to the Browns, Freddie Kitchen years, right? No chance that this guy's beating the Eagles. Like, they're actually pretty hot right now. I think they're gunning for a playoff spot, so they're not going to let the Giants get in their way. Give me the Eagles on this one.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Fade Freddie.
You hear the name Freddie Kitchens, you run the other way. The Eagles, like everyone's touched about, Eagles are trending in the right way. Jalen Hurts is starting to look like, an NFL quarterback. Obviously it's only his second year. He's only played
I think they finally have a reliable receiver in Devonta Smith. Like, the guy puts up 80 to 100 yards every game. They finally have a playmaker to throw to, which I think is a good change of pace for the Eagles. And you see it immediately opening up the run game for Miles Sanders. It's like crazy how one player can just transform that offense. Takes a lot of pressure off the run. That offensive line too is playing amazing. They're probably a top 10 offensive line. Jordan Mailata, the Australian rugbyman, he's like 6'8", 350 pounds, just a mammoth human of a left tackle. And he is just leading the charge, just pancake after pancake. We saw him post on social media this weekend. His new location is IHOP. So I'm not betting against that guy this week.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there, Nick. I think the Eagles, again, trending right direction, -3.5. This is a must win for them, and I think they do it pretty easily. The Giants, just fired Jason Garrett. Their offense is not shown to be, the offense that they thought that we all thought they would be at the beginning of the year with all these weapons. Danny Dimes just doesn't seem like the NFL caliber quarterback. So with that being said, I'm beyond the Eagles -3.5.
Yeah, and you guys definitely swayed me. I didn't realize Freddie Kitchens was taking over the. Yeah, I did not realize
Freddie
Kitchens was
Kitchens
stepping
thing
there.
really does change everything.
Here's the other piece too. No Sterling Shepard, no Kadarius Toney, and Saquon is questionable for the Giants as well.
Oh, really?
They're 3 top playmakers. So, between that and Freddie Kitchens calling the plays for them, I'm going to flip here and roll with you guys and take the Eagles.
I didn't know they were without all those people. That's even with that offense, like with all those people in, they didn't look that great. And then now that everyone's questionable or even out, It'd be very, very hard to take the Giants there, but that might be a good teaser spot to move the Eagles down at like a 6-point teaser for people to think about as well. But moving on to the next game, it's actually a pretty enticing game here. We got the Titans traveling to New England to face the 7-4 Patriots. Titans coming off a disgusting loss to the Texans, and the Patriots looking like a playoff caliber team here. Putting up a stinker of a game against the Falcons, or Falcons put up a stinker of a game, and I'm shutting them out. The spread for this game is down to Patriots -6 at home.
It's now
Nick,
actually -7 there.
Oh, it's moved to 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing as well.
Yeah.
DraftKings.
So
This is kind of an interesting one. I mean, 7 points feels like a lot for this game, especially given the two records of both these teams. For that reason, I'm going to go with the points just because I think it could be close. But at the same time, I mean, Tennessee really only has one option right now on offense, and it's AJ Brown. We know Belichick is really good at teams that have one superstar and kind of isolating them out of games. Yeah. What?
AJ Brown's not playing.
So they have nobody on offense?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Give me the Patriots -7. They're wagging anyways.
This is a tough one too. Obviously, once it got to 7, that's not ideal. Like if you had been able to grab this and when it was at 6.5, obviously much better here. But without AJ Brown, what's tough is I think that Vrabel has always given Belichick good games. Like they've always kept it fairly close from, my just memory alone. I haven't looked up the stats or anything, so I could be wrong, but
Vrabel, he's 2-0 against Patriots.
There you go. Okay. So, but also probably pretty different situations. Derrick Henry's playing in those games and probably healthy AJ Brown. I think, like we were saying in the Eagles-Giants game, you've got two teams who are trending in very different directions. I know the Titans, were off to an amazing start, combating all those injuries, the toughest strength of schedule to start the first half of the season, and still coming out right now is the number 1 team in the AFC, right? Are they still in the 1 seed?
Yeah, they are.
Even after that horrible loss.
Yeah.
All that said, I think that the Patriots defense and run game is going to basically dictate the pace of this, and they're going to have the ball for a majority of the game. And I think that they can cover that 7 or at least push it. So I'll take the Patriots -7.
Yeah, you know what? I wish this was a game where both teams would just lose, but
yeah, you have to pick one, Corey.
Pretty sure 2 weeks ago I said I would never bet on the Patriots, nor do I want the Patriots to ever succeed. Just with, back in the day with Peyton Manning going against Tom Brady, and the Patriots just, ripping our hearts out of our chest every year.
People don't forget.
Yeah, no. But the way teams are trending right now, I know the Titans, they still have the record tiebreaker of the Colts. As a Colts fan, I need the Patriots to win, as painful is for me is that to say. But for any chance the Colts to win the AFC South, the Titans have to lose games. I think the Patriots right now offensively are more talented than the Titans. The Titans, without Derrick Henry, no Julio, no AJ Brown. How good is Ryan Tannehill? I don't think Ryan Tannehill is that good, to make Westbrook and Keeney, Chester Rogers, and Marcus Johnson, these top receiving threats. So
gross.
Yeah, it's not good there in Nashville. So give me the Patriots -7 at home. It definitely could be a closer game than that. The over-under right now is at 44. I lean under there, which, usually when you lean an under that, of that size at 44, usually you want to take the points, but I think the Titans just have a better team right now than the Titans. So Titans -7 is my pick.
Pats -7.
Pats -7. Sorry. Yes. Do we have a PB pick for this one, or
PB went with the. He said Patriots -6.5 or 7. Titans suck and decimated with injuries. So we are all on the Pats for this game.
all on the Pats? So bet the Titans. All right, moving on. Kind of a stinker of the week. This might take it. I think there's maybe one more game that maybe take the Dust Bowl of the week, as Alex likes to say, but we have the Falcons traveling to Jacksonville. This is a -1 spread for the Falcons on the road. Jacksonville looks bad. Falcons look bad. It's a bad game overall. Nick, lead us off with this bad game.
You guys want to just flip heads or tails on this one? I mean, not much I could really say. I don't know. The Falcons put up, I think, 6 total points without Cordell Patterson. And he's finally back. So I think that offense might have a better shot at scoring some points. Now they have Cordell Patterson and Kyle Pitts. Pretty much it. So I'll go with the Falcons. Jacksonville's terrible.
Yeah, there's definitely 2 Dust Bowls this week. This is definitely the one of them. The first one we're covering here of the 2. I honestly don't have any sort of analysis on this, and I'll go back to what I said a couple of weeks ago with the Dust Bowl. I'll take the points just because I think both of these teams are so bad that I'd rather be on the side getting points. So I'll go Jags plus. What is it? +1 or +2?
It's +1 right now. Well, that's what the sheet says. So
yeah, it's +1.
+1 still.
Yep.
Yeah. I think in this scenario, it all comes down to quarterback play. And I rather trust a veteran quarterback in Matt Ryan, who, previously has won the MVP. He's on the road against the Jaguars, rookie coach, rookie quarterback. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to go on. I just think the Falcons are a better team than Jaguars. Jaguars are bottom tier team. Falcons are a little bit above that, not much higher, but I like the Falcons more with their leadership being on the road than the Jaguars at home. So I will take the Falcons -1. So
yeah, we'll be split here on this. PB's rolling with me. Jags +1. He doesn't think they should be underdogs at home.
Okay. All right. Very nice. All right. Moving on to which could be the game of the week. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to my Indianapolis Colts. Colts are home puppies at +3 here. I'll let you guys open it up just because you know which way I'll be leaning. So I'm more interested in. I think everyone else would be more interested in what you guys have to say than what I have to say.
I'm surprised that the Colts are underdogs
at home.
That I think that's like the most surprising thing. I'd have to take the points because I think they're the better team right now. And I think maybe if you could get them at 3.5, if people start going Tom Brady crazy, might get lucky. Give me the Colts. Jonathan Taylor's probably the best football player in the NFL right now, or at least he's playing like it. So it's pretty hard to kind of fade that. On the other hand, Tom Brady has all his weapons healthy, including Gronk. He's coming back.
He's not.
One more week, probably.
That's all right. I mean, he's still got Godwin and Evans. I think those are the big guys there. And then Gronk is kind of his nice third option. So, I think they're good, but can't stop the Colts right now.
Yeah. If you are going to bet that, you should take that now. I think there's a good chance that this line moves to -2.5.
You think it goes the opposite way?
Yeah. I think people are going to start betting the Colts today and tomorrow morning. I think it could get moved to 2.5. And I do think this is probably going to be the game of the week. I think, going to bet it, but I am going to wait because I think I'm going to roll with Brady and the Bucks. As much as it's hard to take a road favorite, I think after last week, they played the Giants, but I think we saw the Bucks kind of turn it on and basically start their second half of the season, which is when they start to really pick it up and put it together. You've got a healthy Gronk back, which is obviously Brady's favorite red zone target. If it does move to 2.5, I will be betting the Bucks. I'll still take the Bucks at -3, but I probably wouldn't bet it if it doesn't move. So yeah, that's what I'm rolling with.
My biggest concern for this game for the Colts, obviously we know what the Colts want to do. They want to run Jonathan Taylor, who is, should be in the conversation for MVP this year.
Absolutely.
I know Vita Vea has been out for the Bucks. I think he's trending to play this week. I got relook at that. But obviously he's probably the best defensive tackle in the NFL. Makes a huge difference. The Bucks have always been, these last 2 years have been one of the hardest teams to run against. So that kind of, sways me. It kind of, scares me just a little bit. The Colts obviously just run Jonathan Taylor. But I think this is a perfect spot to show why the Colts traded for Carson Wentz. The Bucks are one of the worst in the secondary. I think they're just a little bit above Washington when it comes to this stat. So this is a place where, Michael Pittman, T.Y. Hilton, Zach Paschall can really make a huge difference in this game. And the over-under on this game is it's above 50. I think it's at like 53, 51.5. That might have changed by now. And I think this could be a shootout because the Colts are terrible in the secondary. Last week we did hold off, Josh Allen, but the Bills don't run the ball, so it's kind of easy to play. The pass defense. Bucks can run the ball. If the Colts are going to make the playoffs, I mean, this isn't a must win, but this is a win that you would like to have, considering the teams you still have left to play. We still have the Cardinals and we still have the Patriots left. So at home, Colts are one of the best teams against the spread this year. You give me home puppies +3 with my heart. Give me the Colts, baby.
Yeah, at home. I mean, it's a safe bet. Nothing's guaranteed, but feels right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, I just hope it's a good game. It's not a bad Carson Wentz day where we see him running around and throwing it with his left hand.
Tom does love to haunt the Colts.
Yeah, but that was when he was in New England. Maybe it's a little bit different. He's been down south. Maybe his son.
I don't think so.
I don't either. But all right, let's move on to the second Dust Bowl of the week. We are going with the New York Football Jets against the Houston Texans. Texans at home are -2.5. Zach Wilson will be the quarterback for the Jets this week, so that might change people's opinions here. Nick, what do you got?
Yeah, I think the Zach Wilson thing actually hurts the Jets here. Texans, just crushed the Titans, so I'll go with the Texans. Feels like another coin flip, but they're probably the hotter of the two teams.
Yeah, I think Tyrod is actually he's a formidable quarterback. I don't know, he's not a star obviously, but he can win games, and Zach Wilson has not proven that he can win games yet. Under a field goal with the game being in Houston, I'll lay the points, take the Texans.
Yeah, I go back to my original statement with Matt Ryan versus Trevor Lawrence. This is rookie quarterback against a veteran quarterback. Not saying Tyrod Taylor's the greatest quarterback and as a veteran, but he's shown us that he can win games. It looked very well last week in Tennessee. They beat the Titans. I just like where the Texans are heading. So give me the Texans -2.5 at home. I feel like that should be a little bit higher of a spread just because of Zach Wilson coming back. Zach Wilson's looked like crap. He hasn't done anything. He's not shown anyone why he was the number 2 pick. Texans have a better defense than the Jets. Yeah, just Texans all day there. All right, let's keep it moving here. We're into the midday games now. We are going to the Los Angeles Chargers traveling to the Denver Broncos, in which many people are saying might be the trap game of the week. Chargers are -2.5 on the road against a divisional opponent. Nick, what do you got here?
I think the Chargers are a really good team, and I think the Broncos are a pretty average team. I know the Chargers haven't been excelling as much lately, but Herbert's awesome. I mean, I think certain will take out one of Keenan Allen or Mike Williams, but that's fine. They have Austin Eckler and whatever receiver that certain does not cover that play. So I like the Chargers a lot here.
Yeah, like Corey was mentioning, this line feels like a trap going into Denver. Denver getting points. The Chargers showed that they can't stop anyone, playing the Steelers last week and allowing, I think, 30 or 32 points, something like that.
That secondary is pretty banged up.
Yeah, not great, not a great look. Because I don't think the Steelers offense is very good. Big Ben needs to hang it up, but it's a tough one, man. It does feel like a trap line, but I agree with you, Nick. I'm going to take the better team here under a field goal, and I think the better team is the Chargers. And the fact that it's under 3 points, I think, is why I'm taking it.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I think the Chargers last week showed us the team that can be. They were on a kind of a 3-game skid there, and then Steelers coming to town. They looked better. They put up a bunch of points. I like the offense more for the Chargers than the Broncos. Justin Herbert is probably the quarterback of the future in the AFC. He showed it. He looks great. I don't think. People are saying this trap game because where the line is, but I just like the quarterback play better on the Charger side than the Bronco side. So I'm also on the Chargers -2.5 here as well. Do we have a PB pick for this one?
PB is going with the Chargers, so we've got a clean sweep for the Chargers. It says Herbert is the truth. I usually don't like taking away divisional favorites, and especially the Broncos, but I just think the Chargers are truly a good team.
Yeah,
and
I
to that, I think too that even though that defense just let up 30 points to the Steelers, I think the Steelers' offense is better than the Broncos' offense, and I think that the Chargers offense has shown that they can put up points in bunches. So I think there's a chance that they even run away with this game.
Yeah, I agree with you there. The only thing that scares me is, Broncos do have a pretty good defense. Chargers still a little bit banged up, but if it comes to a shootout, I think the Chargers have better offensive weapons than the Vikings or than the Broncos do. So. All right, moving on here. We got this is a very intriguing game. When I saw this come out, I didn't know which way to go with it. You have two pretty good, hot teams right now. You got the Vikings traveling to the 49ers. Niners are 3-point home dog favorite or 3-point home favorites against the Vikings. Nick, what do you got?
I think this is going to be a really good game. 49ers offense looks really good. That offensive line is killer. And with Kittle and Debo playing the way they are, it's hard to bet against them. And the Vikings are also coming into this game off some good wins as well. But I think I like the Vikings here a little bit more. I think San Fran's defense is just a little bit too vulnerable for them to stop Debo and Kittle. So I just see that happening all day.
Wait, you mean to stop Jefferson and Thielen?
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think I've been on the Vikings a lot this year. They looked pretty good against the Packers. Packers
Beat the Packers.
Yeah, they beat the Packers in overtime 34-31. Niners are one of the worst teams at home this year, which is a very odd thing to have, especially when you're fighting for a playoff spot, that you've lost more games at home than you've won. Usually when a team is fighting for a playoff spot, that's usually flip-flop. I like the Vikings offense. I think it's more potent than the 49ers. We know what the 49ers like to do. They like to run the ball, like to hold the ball, which they've done the last 2 weeks extremely well, getting Kittle back. They've kind of figured out the running back situation over there with Hasty and who's the other guy? Well, yeah, Debo's running the ball in the backfield as well.
Yeah.
But I know I like the Vikings here. I think they're trending in the right direction. So give me Vikings +3.
I think this is going to be like the shootout of the week. We'll talk about it in daily fantasy later on, but this is the game that I think I'm most excited for fantasy wise, DFS wise, I should say.
Yeah. And to that point, the over under is only 49 right now. I love that over. Both these teams coming off putting up 30 points in their last games. I do agree with you guys. I like the Vikings here at +3. I think this game is probably closer to like a pick 'em. If I think it could really go either way. So I'll take the points here. I think that the 49ers are going to have a very tough time covering Jefferson and Thielen. And, I think that both teams are going to put up points. Like I said, love the over here. And I'll take the Vikings +3.
Yeah, the other thing you got to think about is like if this game gets into a shootout, who do you trust more? I mean, is it Kirk Cousins or Jimmy G with his weapons? And I know that both those quarterbacks are probably in the same tier. I just like the Vikings offensive weapons more than the 49ers. So that's where I'll be leaning.
Dalvin Cook's probably the best player out there.
Yeah.
Or Jefferson. Honestly, he's playing like maybe the second best receiver in the NFL. Besides Tyreek and Devontae, I think he's like playing at that level right now. So
easily, yeah. I like the picks. All right. Moving on to which is probably the game of the week. Two Super Bowl contending teams here. You have the LA Rams traveling to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, and the Packers at home right now are -1. This
line is flipped. This line is flipped.
It has?
Yeah. We've got Packers +2 now. Probably
Packers
because of all the air.
At home.
Probably because of all the Aaron Rodgers toe stuff.
Oh, his pinky toe is causing the line move here.
His COVID toe.
Yeah, I think his toe's going to be just fine. It's a good thing he doesn't throw with his feet, and he's not a mobile quarterback. So, like, I honestly could care less about his toe. If he's going to play, he's going to play, and he's going to play at the Aaron Rodgers level we all see every week. I think it's kind of a no-brainer to take the Packers here at home, +2, coming off a bad divisional loss. They need some wins. And, at first glance, this just looks like a good matchup, right? But I think down the road, this is actually a game that could decide who has home field advantage in the playoffs. So the Packers are going to approach this knowing that they want Jalen Ramsey in the snow, Devontae Adams instead of their home field. So I think the Packers are going for the big win here. So with the points, like it's kind of a no-brainer.
I do think that Aaron Rodgers' toe in the cold is going to be more of a factor than we may be thinking. I think it's actually kind of bothering him a little bit here. And Nick, you're right. He doesn't necessarily need to throw with his feet a ton, but that Rams defensive line is going to make him move in the pocket a lot. And I think that they're going to cause some problems for him. The other weird piece about this is the line movement is fairly indicative to me that Rodgers' toe injury is actually something to be taken seriously. Like I think if it wasn't a big deal, the line doesn't flip and they don't become home dogs. So for those reasons, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the Rams are coming off a bye, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I think McVay coming off a bye, basically having a week and a half to 2 weeks to game plan this, I think is going to bode well for the Rams. And under a field goal, I'm going to roll with Rams -2 here.
This game's been hard for me because I've been, ringing the bell for the Rams to come out of the NFC as the Super Bowl contenders. Packers have been extremely good against the spread. I think they're like 9-2 on the season. They're one of the best teams. And they're at home and they're getting points. It's hard to bet against Aaron Rodgers, reigning MVP. Obviously he doesn't think his toe's an issue, as indicative that he took at his press conference, he held up his foot to the cameras, and now that his foot picture is now his Twitter profile picture. I don't know. I like this is a hard one. I'm going to take the Packers at home +2. I just think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be a close game. And for that reason, I'm just going to take the points, especially with another Super Bowl contender team. So give me the Packers +2 here.
That defense has been playing amazing too.
Yeah,
so it's not even just Aaron Rodgers. And I would say, like any other quarterback, like not being as mobile is a big deal. But for Aaron Rodgers, the guy doesn't make mistakes. Like he knows when to get sacked. He is amazing at throwing it away and like making those last second decisions, where I would say probably 99% of quarterbacks, it would be a big deal and a game changer, because that would lead to more turnovers. So I totally agree with the rationale. I just don't think it applies to Aaron Rodgers.
I think that's totally fair. I think that's totally fair. I mean, the dude's a freak.
He's like the only guy, him and maybe Tom are like, all right, they're not making many, although Tom this year has been making a lot of mistakes. So just Aaron Rodgers.
Very true. Very true. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is he's so good.
Yeah.
And I think, and I just think that a little toe injury is not going to prevent him from winning this game, nor not covering this game. So that's my only rationale. It's so hard. Like Aaron Rodgers at home. I mean, what's his stat line? I wish I had it in front of me, because
I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get the exact numbers right, but his overall home record I was looking at last week is something like 89-14-1 or something.
Yeah.
Not against the spread, but just straight up.
Yeah. I mean, that's
insane.
That's crazy. And I think Aaron Jones might be available for this game. I think he's still carrying a questionable tag going in, but I mean, still, it's Aaron Rodgers.
AJ Dillon's like putting up just as much production. It's like not even like you don't even feel that loss. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is. All right, let's go into Sunday night's game. We have the Cleveland Dog Pound Brownies traveling to the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens coming off a 16-13 win against the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
With a backup quarterback. Brownies taking care of the Lions, not covering, but they've won that game.
Called that
Nick,
one.
What you did? You said
Yeah,
No.
I think I
And
called that
cover.
maybe perfectly. Sitting over here with my magic 8 ball, but I got to start out with saying, Corey, I'm just disappointed you didn't save the Super Bowl contender title matchup for this game. But we'll move past that. Huge game. The Browns and Raven. I don't know who the Ravens have in between the Browns, but the Browns schedule is Ravens bye week Ravens. So they're playing a 2-series soccer leg here. It's going to be pretty interesting. I think the Ravens are slightly worse than their record. They're pretty hit or miss. Like they're on or not. Marlon Humphreys is not playing the same. Matthew Judon's dearly missed on that defense. They're not getting nearly as much pressure this year, I think, on the quarterback. And it's not helping out his secondary at all. So we're starting to see that. That being said, I don't know. Jarvis is going to have a huge game. DPJ or Hollywood is really going to have to step up. I think the bright side of things here is we have Kareem Hunt coming off like a 5-week bye. He's gonna have the freshest legs out there. So I think this is a huge Kareem Hunt game. And I'm going with the Brownies. Backs against the wall. Here we go, dog pound. Give me the points, baby.
Lock them in.
Lock them in.
Man.
And you know what? I'm feeling aggressive here. Coming from Cleveland, that's where my heart is. Lock of the week. Browns plus
Lock
4.
of the week. Oh,
There it is. Lock it in, baby. This is going to be a tough game. I think this is going to be a hard-fought game. I think that the under is, I don't know what the number's even at, but if it's anything higher than like 35, the under is definitely worth sprinkling some money on. Kind of funny here, the tickets are right now split literally 50-50, 50% on both tickets and money. They're both 50-50. So this game is clearly a toss up in everyone's minds. I didn't realize that the Browns, how do they schedule that? Like Ravens by Ravens? How is that how can they do that?
I don't know. NFL.
I don't know.
That's super weird.
I think whoever made that part of the schedule is like who also does the London games, probably in London. They, have the whole soccer legs over there. They play teams back to back. I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of here.
Yeah. This is tough. What another kind of tidbit here is that Baker is finally not carrying any sort of injury or questionable tag into this game. I know he's definitely not fully healed, but it seems like he's going and trending in the right direction there. God, I think this is going to be
I think the scary
game.
thing there is the coaching staff really leaves it up to the players in Cleveland to decide, make that last decision of if they're going to play or not. And we're kind of at this point where unless, Baker has a broken leg and physically can't walk, the guy's going out on the football field. He's got more heart and drive than anyone I've ever seen. His pro comparison coming into the league was Brett Favre. And I think the past couple of weeks, not saying he's been playing at the Brett Favre level, but his toughness certainly matches the old man.
Yeah. And I think part of that too is contract here. Like he knows he's got to perform and he's got to be out there and playing.
Yeah.
I think I don't know where to go with this game. And so my pick is solely going to be based on, I think the Ravens will win and cover this game. And then I think whatever the line is in 2 weeks when they play again, I think the Browns probably win that game after a bye and playing them, basically getting 3 weeks of scouting on this Ravens team. So this week I'll take Raven. Was it -3, -3.5?
4.
That's 4.
It's 4 on DraftKings right now. And that's why I like it even more because it's like these teams are always, at each other's throats. So it's going to be, So if you could get more than a field goal, like I feel pretty comfortable taking points, but
I'll stick Ravens -4 just for the hell of it.
I think right now the Browns are getting healthier. Nick, correct me if I'm wrong here. You're getting another tackle back in Conklin.
Yeah, Conklin should be back.
Not
Not
Conklin.
Cockring, whatever you said. PG show, Corey. Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's back. He's back. You got Kareem Hunt coming back. I never this entire year. I think the Ravens have just been vulnerable. Their defense is not the same defense. You saw the Bears. I mean, they didn't put a bunch of points, and the Ravens were playing with a backup quarterback, but it's still that still shows. And I think the Browns are going to run the ball the way they want to run the ball, and the Ravens are very vulnerable against the run. So give me the Brownies traveling to Baltimore +4. I like the line. I like it's a division game. It's hard to beat divisional opponents by more than a touchdown for most cases. I like the Browns here. So and this is another game where yes, the Browns play them 2 times in a row, but if this is either a split, you either split these games and you have a chance for the playoffs, or you win both these games and you have a very, very likely chance of making the playoffs. And I think the Browns are better than the Ravens at this point. I know it might be crazy to say, but I like the Browns, and I think Baker, if he is getting healthier throughout these weeks, he's not getting hit as much. I like him, leading this Browns team. So, but we will move off that game. I think was PB on the Ravens. I'm sure he was.
Yeah, he was just trashing Baker.
Yeah, I assumed he would be. He's a little salty right now, guys. The Saints are no longer in the playoff hunt. They are just decimated.
God, that team
4
stinks.
losses in a row, 5th one coming in hot.
Yeah,
that team
the
stinks.
Saints are trending. So PB's rationale now is just to attack everyone else's teams. But all right, Monday night game, which is going to be my lock of the week. I am taking the Seattle Gross Seahawks on the road, traveling to Washington. I think Seattle, again, this is another thing that I weigh heavily into my betting, is who has a better quarterback, Russell Wilson versus Tyler Heineke. I like Russell better. I like the Saints offensive weapons better. Last week was a must win from them, and they lost.
Seahawks.
It was bad. What did I say?
Saints.
So Saints are on my mind. But yeah,
Just not true.
Seattle has to win this game. They're
Does it even matter? They have 3 wins right now.
No,
they still have a chance. I mean,
I think they're out of it.
The 0-10. No, wait, hang on. The 0-10-1 Lions still have a chance to make the playoffs. So if they have a chance to make the playoffs, the Seahawks have a chance to make the playoffs. Not saying it's a high one. It's a very slim margin, but they got to win out. This is a game. I think Russ cooks this game, and I think he goes for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Wow,
big one.
Yeah.
Corey, I agree with you though. I love the Seahawks in this game. I don't think the football team is all that good, and I think this is a big fade the public game. I think that the public's going to be all over Washington because of Russ's last 2 games and the Seahawks looking like absolute garbage. But like you're saying, they still have a chance to make the playoffs. It's slim, but there's still a chance. And I think that a guy like Russ and a coach like Pete Carroll are never going to give up on a season until they're mathematically completely eliminated, especially Russ. Like, that dude is just an absolute freak when it comes to, being on the football field and, giving it everything he's got. So definitely fading the public here. I'll go with the Seahawks +1.
I don't know. They took down Tom Brady. They took down Cam Newton. Seems like they're just going through old quarterbacks here and showing them who the new guy in the league is, Tyler Heineke. Tony Gibson, I think, is pretty good. Yeah, it's probably the X factor for me in this game. If they are to beat the Seahawks, I think they got to do it with him and McLaurin, and they both have to cook. But I don't know. The Seahawks do not look good. Russ does not look the same. I know he was out a couple weeks. Probably is going to take him a few to get back in the groove, and this should be the game he does it. But I don't know. This doesn't feel right to bet the Seahawks to me. So I'm going with the Raiders, or the Washington football team, not the Raiders. I don't know why I said that.
You can tell we're recording late. Everyone is just dropping random teams and left and right.
Yeah.
I'm looking a little bit here. All right. So Alex, did you have your lock?
Yeah, I forgot to give my lock here earlier. I was between two games here. It was between the Vikings and the Rams. I'm gonna lock in the Rams -2 for my lock of the week. One little piece just to like toss in here at the end. Stafford knows the Packers. His entire career, he's played them twice a year. So I think that, on top of the bye week, on top of the Rams defense matching up well against the Packers offense, I think that they go into Lambeau and win a tough fought game.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure PB had Seattle as his lock of the week as well.
He did.
Okay. All right. So Nick is on the Brownies as his lock. Alex on the Rams as his lock. And then PB and I are both on the Seattle Seahawks for our locks. I think it's going to be, I think this is going to be an interesting slate here. You got a lot of good games here. There's a lot of opportunities here, especially for teasers. So keep that in mind. Especially, I think a good teaser here would be moving you can get the Browns at -9 or +9.5. I like the Texans, moving the Texans plus from -2.5 to +2.5. Colts at home, moving them from +3 to 6 or +9. And then the Titans Patriots game, which way you feel like, basically get that down to a pick 'em for the Patriots or to Titans +12. Either way is a good one to move that to. With that being said, we've now moved on from the slate. We are now going to move into DFS very quickly. We're going to run through these games. We'll probably spend more time on the more important games than the Dust Bowls of the week. Not saying that there's not plays from those games, because if you do play DFS weekly, you do have to get different in some areas, and sometimes that is playing those crappy games to find a gem to win money. But with that being said, the first game we will be talking about on the DFS slate will be the Carolina Panthers traveling to the Miami Dolphins. Let's see here. You guys have any picks for this game that you were looking at that you like a lot?
I don't love this game, but I think, like you're saying, if you want to be different and play a game that's probably going to be pretty low owned across the board, I think a decent stack here is Cam, DJ Moore, and then running it back with a guy like Gesicki or Waddle.
Yeah.
I think Cam's rushing upside is obviously huge for DFS and for fantasy. The Miami pass defense is pretty bad, and I think DJ Moore is going to work his way into like the top 10 conversation wide receiver wise, if he's not already. So I think if you do play this game, that would be my stack play here. And then on the other side with Gesicki and Waddle, both those guys get 10 targets from Tua a game. So good upside on both of those.
Yeah, I like Gesicki more than Waddle here, just because I think he has a little bit easier of a matchup. But I actually don't like anyone really from this game. There's not great setups. I think game script doesn't really go in anyone's favor. I think it's a low scoring game. And I don't like DJ Moore as much, honestly, because he did really well with Darnold those first 4 or 5 games of the season, but he put up, I think, 5 in a row under 10 points. Last week, he finally broke that streak, had 16 with Cam, which is promising, but I just don't see it against this Miami defense, who I think is playing better than people give them credit for right now. So.
Yeah, if I were to pick someone from this game, I mean, you got Christian McCaffrey at 9K, which actually he's
like back to his normal price.
He's not even the highest paid running back or highest salary running back this week. He's actually sitting behind MVP Jonathan Taylor at 9,100. But it's hard not to play Christian McCaffrey just because of all of his upside, catching the ball and running the ball. I don't mind DJ Moore nor Robbie Anderson at their price tags. Obviously, DJ Moore at 6,200. Robbie Anderson's actually all the way down to 4,600. I mean, I don't think he's actually eclipsed the 5,000 mark yet this year. But I think Cam Newton brings a little bit more to the table than Sam Darnold did. And even Cam Newton at 5,600, I think that's still grossly underpriced, especially with his running upside, especially within the 1 yard line or the goal line 5 in. He does like to run the ball. I like what Alex touched on. If you are going to play this game, Miami's bring back Gesicki or Waddle. Waddle has been targeted one of the most of any other receivers by his quarterback over the past couple of weeks. So I don't mind it. It's just Carolina has such a good defensive secondary that it's hard to throw the ball on them. So that's why if I was going to play anyone from this game, I think it'd be more Panther players than Dolphin players, in my opinion.
Agree.
Yep. Anything else on this game?
Nope.
All right. Next one is going to be the second Dust Bowl of the week, which is Atlanta going to Jacksonville. We touched on Cordell Patterson probably going to be back for this game. This is actually this could be one of those games. It's a Dust Bowl in terms of watching value, but I think there's a lot of plays here for DFS plays. So Nick, what are you liking here?
If James Robinson plays, I think he's pretty worth it at 6,200. He's always like sneaky good. He's just 15 points at least every single week, I think. So for 6,200, I think he's definitely one of my favorite plays. You could kind of do whatever you want against that Falcons defense, really both sides of the ball here. So it's kind of just more based on the price. I think this is going to be a kind of a fun one to do a showdown captain mode in, I think.
This would be.
I'm definitely going to play a few of those. Kyle Pitts, I think, is obviously a good one. And then if you have to play a Falcons receiver, his name's like Chavis or something like that. Something with an O.
Harris?
Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think he's probably the best receiver on that team. Russell Gage hasn't really done a whole lot. So, I like those guys. Cordell Patterson's back, so I think he's always a good play. You just got to hope that they don't limit his snap count there. So,
I'm curious, Corey, your picks here, because I'm probably fading this game across the board. I don't really see a ton of value in this matchup. I don't think there's going to be very many points scored in this game.
Yeah, the one thing I question is, so Cordell Patterson's questionable and his price tag's at 6,500. I just get a little worried there because if he gets hurt or re-aggravates his injury at 6,500, I think there's a lot better plays a little bit above him or a little bit below him. So I tend to stay away from that. James Robinson, I do like James Robinson at 6,200, Nick. Like you were saying, the Atlanta Falcons are one of the worst teams against the run. And I think he might go overlooked just because of he plays on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I think that people will probably fade this game, like Alex was saying. Another one, I understand he's not been doing a lot this entire year, but for a cash game, Matt Ryan at 5,500. I mean, he's not like he was like, this
This
terrible.
will probably be one of his better games.
I know, and at his price tag at 5,500, I just don't understand it. I mean, I do understand it, but then again, I don't, because of his skill set that he's able to put up, 400-yard games with 3 touchdowns. So I really do like a Matt Ryan, Kyle Pitts stack. Jacksonville cannot stop the tight end on the year. But other than that, I really wouldn't go anywhere else. I do want to say, an RIP to Jamal Agnew. We talked about him a couple times this year, and
Is this the LaVisca Chenault breakout party finally? I mean,
it might be. I mean, Jamal Agnew was their secret weapon, and he was producing. Not saying he was winning anyone tournaments, but I mean, he was playing pretty well for the Jaguars, and that showed by his price tag being priced up by like 1,000 in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so
he definitely jumped there.
He did, but I don't think. Yeah, again, if you are going to fade this game, I mean, I totally understand. They're 2 gross teams, but I do think there's some sneaky plays in there. But from one Dust Bowl to the next Dust Bowl, we'll move to the New York Jets traveling to Houston. I really do not like many plays in this game. No, Alex, are you fading this game as well, or are you playing someone?
I am playing the Texans defense at 2.3K. I think that is a fucking steal. Pardon my French.
Yeah, that's a good find.
Other than that, probably nothing. I don't get how the Jets defense is 2.5K and the Texans is 2.3K with Zach Wilson at quarterback, Mr. INT. Yeah, I think that'd be the only play for me personally in this game, and I think I'll probably take a decent amount of Houston defense.
I mean, I'll just throw one in there. It's kind of a weird one, but Elijah Moore has put up more than 10 points in the last 5 games. Last week with 32 points, and he's sitting at 5,600 against the 24th ranked defense.
That was also with
Flacco.
So that was with Flacco playing. So
yeah, I know. But even before that, he put up 13, 27, 13, 10. Like, he's still putting up good points. And I think he's kind of emerged as like the number 1 guy there. Deep ball threat, can run the slant, short routes. Like, he's kind of the only one that's able to do anything. So I think they're going to start to work the offense through him. So at $5,600, if you got to play someone, if you're doing a fantasy captain mode, kind of like Elijah Moore.
It's not a bad play, but Nick, I'm surprised you didn't talk about Ty Johnson. Michael Carter's out this week, so Ty.
I know. Well, yeah, I can't. I like Michael Carter. Ty Johnson's good, obviously, but
gonna
fade
obviously, as obvious.
Yeah, it's obvious.
Obvious that is. But, it's Brandon Cooks has been priced down now. He's under 6K. Usually, I don't know how many times he's been priced under that. He's at 5,800 this week. He's obviously, we've touched on in weeks past, he's the only basically offensive weapon there in Houston. And I think Tyrod Taylor, I think the game script last week in Tennessee, there's a rainy game. It was, windy. It was hard to throw the ball.
He put up 3 points.
Yeah, I know he didn't do much last week.
They still won somehow.
Well, Tyrod Taylor ran the ball in twice, I'm pretty sure. And Tyrod Taylor's only at 5,300 and he's at home. So I'm confused on this pricing. It's so hard not to play Tyrod Taylor just based on that he has running upside. He's at home.
It's
They're
the
in his
Jets.
zone. It's the Jets too.
I mean,
so-
the Jets' pass D is probably their best part of their team, but
I know.
that's not
not-
saying much, but that
No.
might be why.
but he's only $200 more than Zach Wilson. Like I don't
Yeah.
understand that. Especially
Still think
again,
it's going to be the shootout that you want to bet on.
no, I don't think it is either. I really don't.
Yeah.
I like Tyrod Taylor maybe for a cash game lineup, stacking him with Brandon Cooks and then running back with what you said, Nick, with Elijah Moore at 5,600. But I think we spent enough time. I think this next game is it's probably going to be the maybe the fantasy game of the week. There's probably about 10 plays in this game, whichever way that you look at it, which will be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to my Indianapolis Colts.
I have the disrespect of the week
Oh, this is
play
bad. Yeah.
in this game.
As you're rocking a Tampa Bay Lightning shirt, Corey. Poor timing.
Yeah,
Not a good look for you, man.
Anyways,
I'll throw you a life raft here and kind of steal the show for a second. Michael Pittman, $5,600.
Yeah.
That's a steal.
Yeah.
If the Colts are to knock off the Buccaneers and Vita Vea's back, Pittman's going to have a massive game.
Yeah.
Like he's going to have to get it going, and for $5,600, I love that play.
Yeah, I mean, like Corey was saying, there's plays all over the board here. Pittman at 5.6K, that's absurd. That is disrespectful, like you're saying, Nick.
Play of the week.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor has shown that whatever price tag he's at, it doesn't matter. Since week 4 or since week 3, excuse me, he hasn't put up less than 20 points every game. And obviously coming off of last game, if you didn't play him, you did not win any tournaments.
No, you didn't.
So whatever price tag he's at, I mean, that's an evergreen play. We could say it every single week. And, because there's that chance that if you don't play him, let's say last week, there's no chance that you win in a big tournament. Another play here, don't want to take them all from you, Corey, but on the Tampa Bay side of things, we're touching on the Colts a lot here. The Tampa Bay pass catchers in this game, I think, are definitely in play. Colts pass defense isn't great. And obviously Tampa Bay's receiving core, those 3 giant human being targets that Brady's got in Evans, Godwin, and Gronk, I think could all see fairly big games. If I had to pick one of the 3, I think I'd go with Mike Evans here, kind of in a bounce back spot.
I think it's good.
After last week. What did he put up? I guess he had a decent game last week. 70 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Was that?
I was saying he had a touchdown last week. So
Yeah. And a tough matchup too with Bradbury, a guy that he has not historically played well against. So if I had to pick one of the 3, I think Evans keeps rolling.
Yeah.
I think Gronk for 4,400 is a safe play. He's only finished 4 games and he's put up plus 10 points in all of them. So for 4,400, I think that's a pretty solid one.
Yeah, especially the Colts are very, very bad historically against tight ends. So I don't mind that Gronk play. The only thing that pushes me away from him is how high he will be owned by a large tournament field. I think a lot of people see what Colts do against tight end and travel towards him because of his price tag. Another one we haven't mentioned is Zach Paschall. I know he hasn't done anything for the Colts as of lately. The first 3 games he had 3 touchdowns. He's priced at 3,500, and he's the number 2 receiver there in Indy. As much as painful as it is to say, T.Y. Hilton he just doesn't play enough right now. And for Zach Paschall getting looks down the field at 3,500. I mean, that's a steal, especially against a Buccaneer secondary who is horrendous against the pass. So they've looked a little bit better as of lately, but I mean, not anything as to write home about. They're not, carrying this team to victory. So I like that. And then again, Carson Wentz. I mean, if you think it's gonna be a high scoring game, a lot of touchdowns scored. Carson Wentz at 5,800, I think, is also a great play. I mean, he's $1,600 less than Tom Brady, and Carson Wentz is not a little, definitely a lot more mobile than Tom Brady. Obviously, the Colts don't have the offensive weapons that the Bucs do. I just think if we talk about every week writing up a story in your mind of like how a game will go, and I think this is gonna be a high scoring game. I don't think each defense is gonna be able to stop each other. Each defense is not gonna stop each other's offenses. So that's why I like Carson Wentz as well at 5,800. But we shall move on here from this game. Hopefully the Colts, beat the brakes off the Bucs, but only time will tell. So now we're traveling to New York with Philly playing against the Giants. We got any plays here, boys?
Maybe Devonta. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I like Miles Sanders at his price tag, 5.1K. He almost had 100 yards last game, and Jordan Howard isn't playing this week. The Eagles have finally figured out that they're a better football team when they run the ball 30 times in a game, and they're actually very good at it. Like we were talking about earlier, their offensive line, with Kelsey coming back and getting healthy, has really stepped up. So I think at that price tag, you could see him putting up, 60 yards and a touchdown, which definitely covers that 5.1K, gets you what you need from him.
Yeah, I think like last game we saw him put up 90 yards and he didn't even break 10 points. So we need him to hit the end zone here, which kind of stinks. Because I think they like to pass a lot with Goddard. Jalen Hurts runs a lot. So to me, he's not the best fantasy player, even though he's kind of increasing, the productivity of that offense. I don't really like any other plays from this matchup. We kind of talked about this earlier. Saquon's beat up, so he's probably going to split carries with Booker. So I don't like the Giants running backs. I think Sterling Shepard's out, Kadarius Toney's out, which leaves Galladay, and Slay's probably going to shadow him. So I don't think he's a great play, which makes Danny Dimes a terrible play. Hurts has been crushing it, so I don't mind a Hurts and Devonta Smith stack here.
Fantasy QB1, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
I mean, he's all the way up to 7,300, which is,
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's very expensive to get to that price tag.
He's more than Aaron Rodgers, Stafford, Herbert.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's nuts to think about. I understand he has the rushing upside to get there, which he's shown that he can. But I think, Alex, you hit this right, like this nail right on the head with Miles Sanders at 5,100. I think that they need to run the ball, which the Eagles have been running the ball more, and they're winning games because of it. And obviously, he's the number one back there. They drafted him to be the number one back. He's been banged up. Last week, he had a great game, and at 5,100, I think that's very grossly underpriced. And then I think the Giants, with all their injuries on the offensive side, firing, Jason Garrett, offensive coordinator, they're trying to get really different here. They just don't have any weapons right now. They're like probably one of the most beat up offensive teams in the entire league right now. So I like the Phillies defense here as well. At 3,200, it's middle of the road. It's not, it's in New York, but I still think that with all these injuries, where's Danny Dimes going to throw the ball? He's really good at turning the ball over. So I think that's a play there. So, so from this game, I think we like Sanders, we like, Devontae Smith, and we, the Eagles defense as well, as I think is a good, very good play. But with that being said, let's move on to the next game, which is going to be the Tennessee Titans traveling to the Patriots here. The Tennessee Titans are absolutely decimated with injuries on the offensive side. So, Nick, take it away.
I mean, there's a reason the Patriots defense is the most expensive this week at 3,900. I don't know who they're going to put out there. They don't have any of their playmakers. So I think this is probably going to be a slower game. Maybe pick up one of the running backs for the Patriots. If Damian Harris is healthy, I absolutely love him. Yeah, I think he's always undervalued. So I like playing him a lot. Hunter Henry's doing pretty good. So he's also in play too.
Yeah. What's going to be tough about this game, Nick, I agree with you on the Patriots running back piece. Both Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevens are questionable as of Friday night here. So that I don't love because last week, so the third string guy is JJ Taylor, who last week was a healthy scratch. And granted, both Harris and Ramondre played, but given both of their questionable statuses, I think it could be hard here. And we've seen that Belichick last game literally went Harris one drive, Ramondre the next drive, Harris the next drive, like just back and forth trading off one by one. So I think it's going to be pretty hard to pick who the guy is going to be in that game. I also think that with the Titans, like Corey's saying, decimated on both sides of the ball, I think this is a big under game. Another one on the slate that I'm probably fading pretty hard.
Yeah.
I think really one of the only plays here is Hunter Henry at 4,500. He leads all tight ends right now. I'm pretty sure with touchdowns. I liked him when he was with the Chargers. He's been, performing this year. Jonnu Smith is basically non-existent in the offense. Yeah, he's just not there anymore. And it's hard to say right now who the New England running back is going to be, because I think with us all agreeing that this is going to be a slower paced game, that you would like to have a running back from the Patriots side, but it's hard to determine who's going to be there. What Belichick does, the Patriots have always, for the most part, been known for running multiple running backs every game. So I kind of lean against not playing a Patriots running back. I just, there's not many plays here on either side that I really enjoy. Mac Jones at 5,400, he hasn't done a lot this year. Like, he hasn't put up massive games. He's just done enough to, win Patriots, win the Patriots games, but he's not putting up 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. So I just don't like him. And then on the receiving side, I mean, Westbrook Nikini is like going to be the number one. I mean, how much do you like him? Chester Rogers at 35. Marcus Johnson, who we were talking about last week, is on IR now. It's just a gross game. So I'm probably going to stay away from this game just with the certainty or the uncertainty of how the game script will go. I think Alex is very correct saying it's going to be an under game. So yeah, that's how I'm going to play that game. But let's move on to maybe a little more of a DFS game here. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the Cincinnati Bengals. Alex, what do you like in here?
One of my favorite stacks in this entire slate is Burrow, Jamar Chase, and then running it back with Najee.
Okay.
Last time that the Bengals played the Steelers, Jamar had 2 touchdowns. What did Burrow put up? One sec.
Najee had 31 yards or 31 fantasy points
against the Bengals.
Yeah.
So, and then Jamar had 2 touchdowns. Burrow didn't play great. He had 18 and a half points, but they're at home. They're coming off of, they ended up beating the Raiders 32-13. So like, it wasn't like their best game per se. Burrow only put up 10 fantasy points, so that wasn't great. But I think that the Steelers defense isn't all that it's been cracked up to be in years past. Even with Watt coming back, I think Burrow, Jamar, and then Najee is just, again, one of those evergreen guys like Jonathan Taylor, where he just gets so much, so many touches that he's in play pretty much every week.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I just, a divisional game. I love Najee here as price tag 8,200 for the amount of times he touches the ball, which you talked about, is insane for someone, especially a rookie, how much volume he gets. At 8,200, he probably should be priced up a little bit more, in my opinion. And then on the Bengals side, Joe Mixon, he's the type of player. I mean, they rely on him very heavily, especially because their offensive line is not the greatest. He catches the ball out of the backfield a lot. Samaje Perine is just non-existent in this offense. So I like him at 7,500 as well.
I think it's going to be a tough game for him with Cam Hayward. If TJ Watt's coming back, it's a tough team to run against.
Well, no, so I'm not saying run against, but the amount of volume he gets.
Passing.
His pass catching.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of checkdowns with those two guys coming at you.
Yeah, I mean, last week he got 0 targets, which is surprising. But the 2 games before that, he had 5 targets. So he is targeted in that aspect, especially if it is going to be a shootout, or if we think that the Steelers defensive line can get to Joe Burrow. And then Claypool is interesting as his price tag. I think he's gonna be overlooked extremely because he hasn't really done a whole lot this year. He's 526 yards and 1 touchdown. He hasn't had the year he had last year.
Yeah, I think Deontay Johnson's really the one that's just, he's kind of the lock for me. If you're playing a Steelers receiver, like he's only $6,600 and he's only put up double-digit games this year.
I mean, yeah, he definitely touches the ball a lot. And then tight ends, Freiermuth is very interesting. He gets a lot of looks, in the red zone. That could, it's just hard. I don't know. It's just hard to pick a tight end at that price range at 4,300. I think I'd maybe rather go somewhere else. But he is interesting. So
agreed.
All right. Let's move on here to the Chargers versus the Denver Broncos. This is probably a little bit higher over under than most games on the slates.
Yeah, I think this is a huge Austin Eckler day.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think this is a lot of plays on one side and not many on the other.
Yeah, I think I think Mike Williams is going to get Patrick Surtain. So I actually don't like Mike Williams this week, and Keenan Allen will probably get a little bit more volume out of the slot. So if you want to run a stack with Keenan Allen, Herbert, and Eckler, I think you have a nice day. My only concern with playing a stack here for the Chargers is just the lack of a shootout. They could put up 30 points, but we'll see.
All right, so I just popped out for a sec. So if I'm repeating anything that you guys already touched on, just let me know. I think the best play of this Chargers Broncos game is Noah Fant at 4.6K. The Chargers are
good call.
I think the Chargers are they're either the worst or like the second or third worst team against tight ends, and I think that the Chargers are gonna put up points, which is gonna affect the game script of guys like Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams. So I don't really like them in this game. and Teddy Two Gloves is going to have to throw the ball to someone. And the Chargers corners are pretty good and getting healthy here. So I think Noah Fant has a good chance to, take a red zone target in for a score. And at 4.6K, I think it's worth taking a shot there.
Yeah, I think he's probably one of the more athletic tight ends that we have in the league. So I like that play. Austin Eckler at 8,400. I think he's a solid play every week. I mean, we saw he put up 4 touchdowns last week against the Steelers. Justin Herbert at 6,600 is I don't understand the price tag there. I really like him as a quarterback this week. And then Mike Williams. I know, Nick, you were kind of off Mike Williams, but I mean, he's $1,700 less than Keenan Allen, and I think he provides more of a ceiling than Keenan Allen does with his deep ball threats. So I like him there. And then on the going back to the Denver side, their running backs, I know they split carries, Gordon and Javonte Williams, but the Chargers are really, really bad against the running backs. I really wish as a Javonte Williams owner that in fantasy, year-long fantasy, that
he's earned it too. I mean, he's had such a good season.
He really has. And just Melvin Gordon is just there, just sucking up carries from him, which sucks. But at 5,200, I don't think it'd only be a tournament play to play Javonte Williams. But again, we've seen the Chargers give it up to the running back. So it's a thought to maybe have. And if you're like making multiple lineups and 50-cent tournaments to make a Javonte Williams lineup, I'd go there. But if you're playing the Millie Maker, I think you would kind of have to go somewhere else. But again, that's what makes you the money, is you being different than the entire field. So with that being said, let's move on to the game of the week, which is going to be the Los Angeles Rams traveling to Green Bay. This is definitely the highest over/under on the slate. I think there's a lot of plays here. So Nick, what do you liking here?
Yeah, I'll save all the obvious ones for you guys. My favorite $4,000 play on the whole slate this week is MVS, $4,100. If Devontae and Ramsey matchup goes south for the Packers, they're still going to need to pass it. We saw him have an explosive 20-plus points last week. I think he can continue it, and certainly he's going to pay for his price as a floor, and I think he has a pretty good ceiling, just given that the matchup that Devontae is going to have to deal with the whole day. So, I'm expecting an uptick in volume from him this week.
Yeah, along those same lines, Nick, I think if Lazard is not playing, I could see this being like a sneaky Randall Cobb game. Rodgers loves to throw the ball to like his guys.
Yeah.
And I think, like you're saying, I still think Devontae is going to have a decent game.
Yeah,
for sure. They've Ramsey and him have matched up before, and I think he's performed fairly well still. I don't see him like completely tearing it up and, having his usual 100 yards.
I just think he has a lower ceiling this week.
Yeah, absolutely. And MVS did have a pretty breakout game last week, so I think that's a great play. And I think Cobb out of the slot could see a decent amount of targets with Ramsey shadowing.
I was kind of waiting to see what the Aaron Jones news was for the Randall Cobb suggestion. But yeah, I think that, to your point, if Aaron Jones is out, I think even more of a play for Randall Cobb.
DraftKings must expect Aaron Jones to be playing because he's higher than AJ Dillon. Yeah. Even there, so the Rams have been, historically really good against the run. This year they've been not that great. So I depending on what's happening with Aaron Jones and Dillon, If Aaron Jones is playing, I don't like it as much. But I think a lot of people played Dylan last week, and it wasn't like Dylan had a terrible game. He just wasn't, he didn't pay up to his price tag, in my opinion. So that might be a place to pivot onto is AJ Dillon. Cooper Kupp, I mean, he's $9,600. He's the most expensive player on the slate this week. I mean, as well as he should be because the amount of volume and production he's put up. I like Cooper Kupp, especially if
He's
we
a great
think this
tournament play.
Oh, for sure. I think he's going to be. I would expect him being sub 5% because of his price tag. People would be like, I'd rather pay for in this game Devontae Adams at $1,000.
$1,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like him. If you are looking to play this game, I'd honestly probably go. I mean, Rodgers 6,900. I mean, even Stafford at his price tag. There's a lot of plays here that I'm really gonna. I'm probably gonna be very heavy on this game this week. Which goes against all of my mindset of fading the most, picked game of the week.
There's so many duds on this slate though that I think that this is a week where the Millie Maker is going to be a stack from one of these bigger games.
Yeah, no, I agree as well. And Darrell Henderson at 5,800, he's the number one back there. He's averaging 15 fantasy points a game. And they get in the red zone. I know they love to run those little quick screens to Cooper Kupp, but at 5,800 for a starting running back in a high scoring game, I really do love as well. And then, I mean, besides Cooper Kupp, I mean, you have Odell Beckham Jr. at 5K. I'm not sure, he's had a week and a half there now, how well he'll perform. Van Jefferson. So I do like Tyler Higbee as well at 5,200. I think he's a sneaky play for the tight end position as well. So that being said, let's
one last little thing here, Corey. Just on the Aaron Jones piece, the Packers have a bye in week 13 next week. So you could see them just waiting that extra game. Just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. So like I said, I think a lot of people are going to be off AJ Dillon this week if based on his performance last week. It wasn't like he had a terrible game, but the game script didn't suit him as well as it should have. So yeah, I like him at 5,900. So, but if Aaron Jones is ruled out, he'll probably be just as high owned as he was last week, with the total of it being above 50. But again, I like him here. I think people are going to overlook him. But let's move into the last game, which is going to be the Minnesota Vikings traveling to the 49ers. The over-under is around 49, I believe. So it's a high one. Alex, what do you like here?
Yeah, this, along with that Tampa Bay Indy game, are going to be probably my two most played games, or most plays coming from those games. I love the top three receivers in this game: Jefferson, Debo, and Thielen. I think all of those guys could have monster days. And then, at the running back position, if Elijah Mitchell doesn't play, I think the NASCAR driver Jeff Wilson Jr. at 5.3K in one of the best run offenses in the league year after year. Obviously, it's a Shanahan specialty. I think you could easily see a good game from him. And even if Elijah Mitchell does play, he's at 5.4K. So those two guys against a fairly suspect Vikings run defense who just lost one of their best pass rushers, and a very kind of weird and another sad story with Everson Griffin. We'll see, just what comes out of that. Hopefully everyone is, getting the help that they need. But I think there's a lot of plays from this game, and those.
So he's still playing for them?
Yeah. So he was playing up until, they put him on what do they call it? It was what Calvin Ridley went on. It's like the non-injured reserve player list.
Oh yeah, pup list.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
so he was still rostered then.
He's in a mental hospital right now.
Yeah, which is not the first kind of episode
No,
that he's had. So it's sad stuff.
No.
But in terms of sticking, obviously, just fantasy wise, he's a great defensive lineman, and so you lose a guy like that against one of the better, if not the best, systematically rushing offenses in the league. At those cheaper price tags, I think both of those guys are good.
Yeah, that was going to be my call out too. So nothing to add from my side there.
Deebo Samuel, as we've seen, is a dual threat player for the 49ers. 7,900. He's their number one pass catcher, basically their second running back. He touches the ball in the backfield at least 5-6 times a game. They like to get him involved. I like him at where he's at, 7,900. On the passing side for the Vikings, Thielen, I still think he's underpriced at his price tag, 6,700. They look to him a lot. People overlook him a lot because they want the Jefferson. I mean, 8,300 for Jefferson. I think Adam Thielen is just as good, or maybe not just as good, but slightly below Jefferson. So I like Thielen at 6,700. I've been on Thielen the last couple of weeks, and he's putting up better numbers than he was earlier in the year. And then if you want to go down to receiving options for the 49ers, Brandon Ayuk has been coming alive lately. At 5,300, I think he can be valuable, especially if we think this is going to be a higher scoring game.
Yeah,
which I think it will be. And 5,300, I think he's a great price point for there. With that being said, that's going to be all the games for this week. Let's go into our picks for the week. We're going to put together a lineup for you guys. And then again, disclaimer. If you do win $1 million off our lineup, you do have to pay a royalty fee to us of 50%. So just, on top of your taxes, feed us the other money. So Nick, start us off here.
I'm going to play the disrespectful play of the week with Michael Pittman. Way too cheap.
Michael Pittman. All right.
So are these our locks, or are we putting this in this lineup? Or both?
Yeah, we're just building. Throw it out.
Yeah,
right, let's do it.
Fill up the lineup, yeah.
All right. I think that game is going to be a high scoring game as well. Tampa at Indy. So let's get Wentz in there with Pittman, stack it up a little bit.
All right. From my side, I'm going to go to running back, and I'm going to put in Miles Sanders.
All right. I'll round out the running backs with James Robinson.
All right. Let's throw my kind of sleeper of the week. We'll call it Noah Fant in there at tight end, 4.6K.
I'm liking this build out right now. We're decently doing pretty good with the
salary
here. Let's go with
going to throw MVS in there real quick, and I think that'd be a good way we could see how much salary we have left. Throw that in the defense, and then we'll be able to see how big of players we could get.
All right.
Defense. Do we like the Texans?
I kind of like the Texans. I mean,
like Texans, yeah.
At that price, second lowest on the whole slate.
Zach Wilson's good for at least 2 picks.
Mr. INT.
So we
last 2 spots.
8,100.
Yeah.
Gold.
With,
do we think we need to run back a Tampa Bay receiver?
Yeah, let's go with I guess let's do Evans because Godwin's gonna be in the slot more.
And we have ability for everyone but Cooper Cup
Wow.
in that flex spot. So that's nice.
I don't hate the Jonathan Taylor play with the Wentz stack.
No, let's go different. Let's because I think Vita Vea's gonna be playing.
Eckler.
Yeah, I was
maybe?
gonna say Eckler.
And we still got, 700 left there. So that definitely is beneficial, leaving some variability out there, not filling out, never fill out your entire salary.
For the most part, you don't want to, but
not never, but
I do like where our lineup looks like right now. Perfect. And
like
let's
this?
quickly. Yeah, I really do like that lineup actually. Let's quickly just run through our locks of the week for DFS, and then we'll close it out. So, Nick, who's your quarterback lock?
Give me Kirk Cousins.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna roll with you on that one, Nick. That was my guy too. That's gonna be a high scoring game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Carl Wentz at 5,800.
Carl.
All right, running backs.
Give me Najee.
Najee.
Yeah.
I like Eckler.
Yeah, I'm on you with you, Nick, there with Eckler pick.
Good thing we got him in there.
Yeah, I know, right? We're good right now. Receivers.
I'll let you go first, Alex. I don't know.
There's a lot here. Lock wise, let's go. I'm gonna keep playing this game, and it's gonna be probably my highest owned just individual game. I'll go Debo here, just with his running back exposure that they've been seeming to kind of tick up recently. Go Debo.
I like Jamar Chase.
I'm on with Debo there, but I think I'm gonna go with Mike Williams at 5,700.
Always a guy who could boom.
Yeah. All right, tight ends. Nick, who you got?
I really like Gronk this week.
Gronky.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Alex.
Said it before. Let's go with Noah Fant.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna go that way, and I don't want to be on the same with you, so I'm gonna go to Tyler Higbee in the high scoring game of the Packers Rams game. All right, well, we have run through the slate. We have run through our DFS picks. A little bit longer of an episode here, but we hope that you guys, listened through, enjoyed it, make some money this week. Please like and subscribe on the YouTube, which is at Gambling and Rambling. And then also find us on Spotify, like, share, follow. And we really appreciate the help for the channels. Thank you guys. And we will see you next weekend.
Go win some money.
Win it.